What's happening, everybody? This is RateThisClinic. It's been a minute. I think it's been about a year now since my surgery with Dr. Mwamba. So I thought I would come back and give everybody a little update on my situation, especially considering the fact that so many people are emailing me and I'm seeing so many botches all the time. I'm still quite active with reading forums and looking at Reddit and things like that. And the amount of botches I see on a daily basis is quite concerning. So I thought it was time to come back and to give my opinion again. So with regards to the Mwamba surgery, it's been about a year now. There were 2 or maybe 3 main areas of concern for me. So the first was the botch corners. So the botch corners, as you can see in the picture, are quite large circles above my hairline, behind my hairline, which had barely any hair growing out of it. So if I cut my hair short, you were very able to see those botch corners. And even if I kept my hair long, you still be able to kind of see the botch corners. So those were a major concern that I went to get fixed at Dr. Mwamba. Second one was my hairline, so the frontal hairline. So the plugginess of the hairline, the fact that they use multiple grafts in the hairline, the fact that the density is really poor in the hairline. So when I say the hairline, I also mean behind as well, like a couple of centimeters behind. So that was a big issue for me. Third one was my donor. So my donor obviously was really badly botched by the butchers of Istanbul, Asli Tarcan. They left a really big patch on my right hand side. That patch there, you could see like a clearly visible line between almost no hair compared to my native hair above my ear, which was quite thick. So it looked really bad, especially if I used to cut my hair short. When I grew it out a little bit, it was a bit less visible. But those are the main areas of concern. I also had concerns with kind of some extra grafts around my hairline and the poorly angled grafts in my hairline as well. So we'll come to all of that. So basically, what can I say? After a year, I would say the results are fairly mixed. So the botch corners, in my opinion, it looks like they've grown a little bit. I can't say for certain because I need to cut my hair really short to be able to see whether those areas have been filled in. But I actually have seen another doctor who said that they look much denser than before the operation with Dr. Mwamba. Dr. Mwamba himself didn't really comment on them, but to me, I can't really tell if they're more dense or less dense or the same. Until I cut my hair, I won't be able to give a full opinion on that. But I can't really see any glaring holes either at this length of how I'm keeping my hair at the moment, which is quite long actually. So yeah, in terms of the botch corners, I would say it's neutral or it could be positive, which I'll find out when I eventually do cut my hair. The frontal hairline, however, there has been pretty much no progress in that. So what Dr. Mwamba did was to try and camouflage the kind of poor density work that I already have in my hairline. So he wanted to put some single hairs in between the hairs, the pluggy grafts on my hairline, and just fill in the rest with kind of 2 hairs and 3 hairs behind the hairline. Sadly, however, those hairs haven't grown in. So the front of my hair still looks really sparse, looks really patchy. And the hairline is obviously still what it is, very pluggy and very, very just poor in general. So that's been quite a letdown because I had about 1,300 grafts put into the top of my head and my temples. So I was expecting a much better result than that. I have seen Dr. Mwamba, but to be honest, there hasn't really been a clear reason why that may have occurred. Potentially it was because of the quality of my skin due to the scarring from Asli Tarcan, or maybe it was just, I don't know, it could be that we tried to go too dense. I don't have a specific answer at this moment in time. So I am quite disappointed about that. Very disappointed about that actually. Because even though I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, I was hoping for some, at least like a 50% kind of improvement on the situation as it was previously. So moving on, the third problem was the donor. And I will say that the donor does look much, much better now. So what Dr. Mwamba did was to homogenize the whole of the donor. So rather than have one area that's really thin and then one area that's really thick. He took out about 1,300 grafts from that area, from the donor, and now everything almost looks kind of level. So even though there might be less hair overall in the back of my head, because it's almost the same level, it's much less noticeable to the casual observer, and there aren't many clear lines or delineations where people can say, oh look, he's had hair taken from here. So it has improved a lot. The beard hairs that were implanted some have definitely grown. I've seen that under the microscope with Dr. Mwamba, and I can actually, when I let my hair grow long, I can actually kind of feel them. So significant improvement. I don't know how many beard hairs grew in, what percentage survived, but I can definitely feel some in my donor, and they don't look out of place at all. I don't think anybody would be able to notice that they were beard hairs. What I will say is that there is still a really patchy area on my right side. So if you look from my right side, you can see a small patchy area, and it's underneath it is quite like a dark band of hair. So that needs to be addressed. So there'll be two options for that. Either I implant hair into the patchy area, or I just deplete the donor, the line underneath, and just deplete that a little bit. Maybe I can use those grafts elsewhere. So if you're looking directly from the back, it doesn't look so bad. But if you come to the right side of my head, you will kind of see that patchy area. But overall, significantly improved. I'm much happier with my donor now. So as it stands, there has been an improvement. I will say that, but I'm still not entirely happy. I'm still quite self-conscious about my hairline. So I grow my hair quite long now, to the point where I can sweep it across. So most of the time you can't really see the hairline, but it still is a problem. There's also a problem in that a lot of the hairs on behind my hairline are sticking up at 90 degrees. So I mentioned this in my last video. Those hairs are almost sticking up at 90 degrees. And unless you remove those hairs and reimplant more hairs so that they're sitting at the correct angle, that's not going to change either. So that's something that I'm potentially looking to address as well. But what I will definitely be doing is a punch out session. So I'm going to be removing at least 100 grafts from my hairline, take away the really bulky grafts, take away the ones that are in poor position sitting in front of the hairline, just try to break it up. And I do want to recede my hairline a little bit as well, because currently my hairline is too straight, especially at the corners, so it looks a bit unnatural. So I will definitely be doing a punch out session. Whether I will be going back after that to punch out more and then to reimplant some grafts later, I don't know, because my donor is quite decimated already and I really don't want to risk it anymore. And B, if I do remove more grafts and then try to add more later, I don't know if they'll grow, because I had 1,300 grafts implanted last year and I would say 70% of them didn't grow. So it's a big if at the moment. I am considering my options, but I will definitely be going for a punch out session. I also want to add the temples that Dr. Mwamba did for me came out amazing. I would say that almost 10 out of 10. They came out perfect. They really framed my face better. And whenever you get your hairline lowered to a significant extent, which I had from the Turkish operation, it looks weird if you don't have temples to go with it. So they have just made my overall result look much better. And also the kind of graft removals on the corners that Dr. Mwamba did have made my hairline look so much more natural compared to the rounded, weird hairline that I had from the Turkish guys. So that's it from me in terms of an update. I wanted to keep it quite short. I will be doing a video on some really good low cost options for people to go to. So that will be in Turkey and outside as well. If I was a first timer, I would absolutely consider going to those low cost options. They can give you a good result, but the key is they're not hair mills. They're doctors that who you know are doing the important parts of the operation. So we're going to be looking at those in an upcoming video. I'm also going to try to get back to doing some interview videos as well, because it's been a while and I'm seeing a load of botches that are going unreported. So those need to be brought to light as well. So do send me any emails you have, any stories you have, and potentially we can share them on this channel. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.